This Tissot Tradition in a Quartz configuration is one of those watches that I've wanted to feature on this channel for the most counterintuitive of reasons. This Tissot Tradition, a very entry-level Swiss watch, comes with a literal storybook. Not just a book about specifications, but a book that, as a point of fact, actually tells a story on the inside. It has pictures. It has fictional character. It's the kind of thing that suggests a certain kind of clientele. Maybe we watch aficionados should wipe the smug look off of our faces for a second while we consider this question. Is it wrong that there are some people out there who like vanilla ice cream? Maybe even are nostalgic for it? Let me expand on my metaphorical question a little bit. This watch is not a fine example of chocolatiering in the Swiss tradition. This is not an ancient tradition watch. This is a watch that can coexist with the existence of things like the refrigerator. And it's good for that. This very lightweight watch on the bracelet, 120 grams, with a case thickness of only 7.5 millimeters, coming in at a fairly modern size of 42 millimeters with a 20 millimeter lug, featuring modern features like a date aperture and a $200 price tag for being made in Switzerland. This is all fairly modern stuff. Modern but not avant-garde, actually very conservatively modern. This is the kind of watch that has sustained the Swiss watch industry since the Quartz revolution. This is the kind of watch that the average middle-class guy like myself, who doesn't know a lot about watches, but wants a good quality watch, is going to go to their local watch store in their mall maybe and pick it up. And guess what? It's going to be comfortable. It's got a great bracelet, nice butterfly clasp, and even though it's a fairly large watch, it's all face obviously, it has a very short lug configuration. So it's going to actually sit even on an average size wrist like my 7¼ inch wrist fairly well. In fact, it's going to look very formal, yet it's going to be large enough to be fairly sporty. The back of the watch is just going to show how practical this watch is, with a sapphire crystal, with an ETA or ETA quartz movement, and some basic information about how this watch is water resistant. And of course, it's going to have all of the junk to make sure that you know that this watch is an authentic watch. Fakes are everywhere. In a word, even though this watch to me is not the most interesting watch, it has its place. There are a lot of people who are going to find that this watch is exactly what they're looking for. If you're one of the guys interested in this watch, I want to encourage you to go to masterrep.com and look at the current $200 offer that they have on this watch. You have a unique retail arrangement that gets great deals in the hands of its members. To me, the Tissot Tradition embodies a perhaps overlooked but significant portion of the watch industry. Tissot, of course, even though it's a heritage brand, is now part of the Swatch conglomerate and on the lower tier of that conglomerate. Now, there's no doubt that this kind of watch is going to be a volume seller for the Swatch group, but who am I to complain about that fact? These kind of watches are the sort of thing that most people are going to really enjoy. They're well made. I'm sure it'll last for decades. And if you have a problem with the date aperture, there's no doubt that there are niche alternatives out there. In fact, I'll be doing a comparison soon. I'm not the kind of guy who's going to kick a brand like Tissot on its face. I don't think that's the right attitude to have about the Swiss watch industry. And if they found a way to survive with these fairly attractive, simple watches, well, I hope that the people that own them enjoy them.